the sin of being soft. So you see, sometimes I'm going to speak for myself. I've been that type of person where, I really don't want any conflict with anybody. I don't want to argue with anybody. And that's kind of the problem, right? So people equate that for you being soft. Now, one thing's for sure, I know myself. I definitely am not soft, which is why I actually try to avoid everything at all costs. But the problem is that, I've said this a million times if you check any of my videos, but familiarity breeds contempt. And what that means is that the people who are familiar with you are always contemptuous. It's easy for people who know that you're the type of guy who bites his tongue, shuts their mouths, just closes their eyes, avoids the fight. Well, they know that because they're familiar with that. And so they get more and more and more brazen. So the problem is that while it's a good thing to bite your tongue, shut your mouth, and stay out of harm's way, which the book of James mentions that, and it's repleted all over in the book of Proverbs, or probably scripture altogether. But there's a balance to everything, because at the other side of the token, it's like Jesus wasn't a punk, so he would be literally accosted by people asking facetious questions and talking to him in a way that was a little bit more derogatory or disrespectful. And boom, he didn't mess around. He came back, and he came back with wisdom. He came back with knowledge. He came back hard. And actually, he hit them where it hurts all the time. And that was in their religiosity. So the point of this video is this, and I'm speaking from experience here, is that there's going to be times where, you're going to be tested with people, see how far they can go. I mean, look at David and his own son, Absalom. This guy was a tyrant, right? And it was because of the weakness of his father, and weakness that the father had wasn't a warrior's weakness, because David was a warrior, but it was a father's love type of weakness. And so we all have a weakness. It could be with a sibling, it could be with a spouse, it could be with anybody in a relationship, a friendship, it could be with a child, a grandparent, so on and so forth. And that could be your weakness, your Achilles heel, is that you love them so much that you don't want to hurt them. These are the same people who, will spout out anything at a drop of a dime, and they'll say whatever they need to say. And they're usually the first people to say, like, well, me, I'll say whatever I need to say, I don't hold back. I'm very honest. I'm into honesty, until you're honest with them. And then honesty is not a good thing. So this is the problem. You need to find that balance between being sharp when you need to be sharp, and biting your tongue when you need to bite your tongue. But you can't bite your tongue all the time. You can't be sharp all the time. So this bed is too hot, too hard. This bed is too soft. Find that really nice medium, so that you understand what it is you need to say and how you say it to people who are quick to spout their mouth off, and then always knowing that it's not going to be reciprocated back to them because they're so tough. But when they get hurt by daggered words, you start to realize the type of people that they actually are. All right, hope this message helps. Peace.